Hey everyone. So, I just got intuitively guided to give some messages about the coronavirus and the state of emergency, I guess you could say, that we are in currently. I'm not using my cards for this. I'm literally in bed. I just randomly got called to do this. Called intuitively to do this. So, I'm just going to give you any messages that come through to me about, what's going on. First off, I'm hearing that a lot of people who are currently off of work, out of school, just basically kind of forced to be in their home. This is going to be a much needed reset for a lot of people. A lot of people within the past couple of weeks, the energy has been very chaotic, especially after Kobe Bryant's passing. It caused a very huge energetic shift or a very huge energetic wave, and not in a good way. It's definitely lowered a lot of people's vibration, and it really put a lot of people in fear. His death, of course, was very sad because of the circumstances surrounding it, but it really caused a lot of people to have a lot of fears because it really showed people how quickly life can be taken. And I know that, as human beings, we all know that. But when like a very prominent figure like that dies, especially because celebrities or like people who have, a very, very large following or a lot of influence or like someone who is considered a legend, like they are kind of put up on this pedestal kind of above other humans, which is obviously not right because we're all humans at the end of the day. But y'all know what I'm trying to say. It's like celebrities get this larger than life persona, especially people who are celebrities because of a skill or a talent. What I'm hearing is that people who have mastered their talents and skills, like people who have put a lot of hours into it, is extremely rare. To see someone master their craft or skill because of the amount of work that goes into it. So people who are famous for a craft or a skill that they've mastered, kind of like Kobe Bryant was, they are put up on a pedestal. It's almost like they're not human. You almost like expect them to live forever. Like, think about, Beyonce and the fact that one day she's going to pass away. Like, that's just, it's hard to believe because she seems so larger than life. You see what I'm saying? And God forbid, of course, we don't want anything to happen to her. But, death is something that we all are going to experience. But just using that as an example, I'm not seeing that anything bad's going to happen to Beyonce. To Beyonce, I mean, God forbid. But you see what I'm trying to say? It's like they're like these larger than life personas, and when one of them pass, it's just very shocking, and it really shows us how our time can be very limited. So a lot of people have just been faced with the idea of death. It kind of slapped them in the face, and a lot of people's frequency has been very low since then, and living in a state of fear or just being overwhelmed. And even if it's not their own fear, other people's fear they can pick up on. So if you're a highly sensitive person, I'm sure you've been feeling how heavy this energy has been. So to go from those that fearful energy, and then now we're moving into this, which is even more fear. I am seeing that something good will come of it because, like I said, during this time, it's like everyone really needed a much needed break or a reset, especially interacting with each other. A lot of negative energy was being exchanged through people. So yeah, this is going to be a reset, like I said, for a lot of people, an energetic reset where they're going to kind of force to put energetic boundaries up between them and other people because they're not going to be leaving their homes. I'm also hearing that this is going to be a time for a lot of people to basically get off of their phones and have more face-to-face interaction, which I know sounds really weird, but that's what I'm getting, because a lot of people are locked into their apartments, or like they're not leaving their apartments or their homes, but they're with their family, like whether it's like a spouse. My family is here with me right now, like they had to evacuate, so they're here with me, like that. Like a lot of people are going to be basically bonding or connecting with whoever they're locked in with, I guess you could say. And that's because a lot of people are going to be feeling extremely isolated because they can't leave the home. So it's almost like they're going to feel, I'm hearing starved. They're going to feel a bit starved for human companionship. And so this is going to be a good opportunity for a lot of people to rekindle their friendships or their connections with their family. Even if you've been living with certain people, but you've just been distant from them, like this is going to be a good time to bond. Um, I'm seeing college dorms. So I'm seeing like people, this is for people who the dorms haven't evacuated. I'm guessing because I'm seeing it very clearly that people in I'm seeing like people in college dorms like who don't really speak, like roommates that don't speak, um, speaking to each other. And I don't know if that's specific, like that I'm seeing an actual vision of this happening, or if my guides are just giving me that picture as an example, if that makes sense. Because I'm just seeing people in dorms who just usually don't speak. It's almost like they're strangers to each other, and I'm seeing them speaking because of what's going on. And so that could be, like I said, literal, or it could be like a metaphor for, because sometimes I get intuitive images in my mind just to give me a clear picture of what, is trying to be channeled through. So yeah, a lot of people are going to be bonding and really interacting with each other. I'm also seeing that this situation has definitely made people reevaluate their finances. They see, I mean, a lot of people already were aware in realizing that, I'm one paycheck away from, not being able to pay my bills. But this has kind of put even more of a big spotlight on it. So I'm seeing that after this passes, a lot more people are going to be becoming much more financially responsible. I'm seeing that there's going to be a wave of creatives that are going to be putting their work online more often, because what I'm seeing intuitively is that there's a lot of creative people, or people who have been wanting to start like making residual income online, that have been too afraid to do so, and this is giving them like a push, because they're kind of thinking like, okay, I'm being forced to stay home for a week from my job, and I'm missing out on pay. If I had just consistently posted my work or started that other source of residual income, then this wouldn't be a problem. So it's like they're kind of being pushed in that direction. So I'm seeing like a wave of creatives that are kind of having these light bulb moments or these epiphanies all at once. And it's funny because what I'm hearing is that it's perfect timing, because as we all know, artwork raises our frequency. So it's going to be important for people to be consuming art, whether it be in person or online. And so it's just kind of like the universe is just kind of aligning in that way, where creatives are like, wow, this, I need to start making money off of, my art. And then posting it, and then in turn the collective is benefiting, because their artwork and producing that artwork is actually raising the frequency of the people who are observing it. So that's something that we need, because we're all in this very heavy state of fear and panic and things of that sort. So the artwork that's going to come out of this is going to be a way of kind of soothing the collective, soothing us as a collective. Let me see if I'm getting anything else. I am seeing the panic buying, but I feel like there's nothing really coming through for that. Well, nothing that hasn't already been said on social media, like people panic buying and hoarding resources. Oh, you know what? I'm getting a positive message about that, though. I'm getting that a lot of people are starting to become more selfless through everything that's going on, because the panic buying is kind of putting a spotlight on people's greed and their selfishness. But it's like that greed and selfishness is always there in society. It always exists, right? It's kind of like how our society functions. It's like every man for himself. And basically, when you see these people panic buying and like buying in bulk and leaving nothing for everyone else, it's really just putting a huge spotlight on an issue that is already there in society. So a lot of people are starting to see this and kind of wake up to this, is what I'm seeing. So people are going to become more selfless through this. So that is a good thing. Let me see what else. I think that may be all that I'm getting. I'm just trying to make sure before I turn the recording off that that's it. I know I heard a message earlier from another reader that really hit me, or it's so simple, but I just felt it very deeply. And she basically said, for all of you who are worried during this time, everything that you need will be provided. And it just hit me on a deep level. So I know it was not just a message for me, but for a lot of people in the collective. Because a lot of people are just worried about it. A lot of people are in a state of lack right now. They're in a state of lack of not having enough. How am I going to pay this bill if I can't work for the week? And I'm just seeing it being supplied to people, like kind of like blessings, randomly getting things that you need when it feels like it's impossible to have it, if that makes sense. So a lot of people's needs are going to be met, even though a lot of people are very afraid and very worried. Everything is going to work out in their favor. They just don't see it. Let me see what else. I think that's it. I thought I was gonna get messages about like fear and like, the collective fear, like stop being so fearful. The messages that I've just been seeing a lot in the spiritual community, which not knocking them at all. But I thought that's what was gonna come through, is like the message about fear and how collective fear can manifest certain things. But I only got positive messages somehow. Because I see a lot of positive coming out of this, even though, of course, this is very scary, and it can be very tragic, especially for people who have, lost their lives, or who have fallen ill, or who have lost loved ones. So, send prayers and collective love. When people send love at the same exact time or around the same time, it is very powerful. Prayer and sending love is already powerful individually, but when you do it as a group and as a whole, and you focus together on a specific prayer or a specific like well-wishing, it's extremely, extremely powerful because of the synergy, because of everyone's energy being focused on a specific thing. So make sure that you are sending love and light, and just kind of trying your best to stay in a level-headed, balanced state of mind. Try not to let fear take over too much, especially because, oddly enough, fear and stress, if you stay in that for a prolonged time, that actually weakens your immune system. So that's even more a reason to try your best to stay centered and stay grounded. Anything that you can watch online that's soothing to you will be very beneficial, like things that are like oddly satisfying. Like if you just type in oddly satisfying into the search bar on YouTube, try to look through videos and see which ones make you feel calm and at peace. I personally I personally like the soap cutting videos. I don't know why they're so soothing, but they are. But I personally like the soap cutting videos. So yeah, try your best to do that, and to kind of ground yourself and center yourself, and make sure that you're not living in too much of a state of fear, because it will do you no good or anyone else any good. In all honesty, it will just make things worse. So yeah, I think that's all. I'm also going to try out a different style for my tarot videos, where I'm going to try to put soothing sounds like in the background of my tarot videos. I'll give it a test run and see if you guys like it or not, but I think it'll be helpful, especially during this time where a lot of people are needing to hear like soothing sounds and things of that sort. So let me know what you guys think about that. Well, I guess you wouldn't really know what you think about it until I actually post it, but yeah, I'm just gonna do like a trial run of it. So that is it, guys. Thank you for listening, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.